goes back actually to the brain again, which is fascinating. And the emotional part is we want to survive, right? And so risk aversion sometimes is not that we don't want to get into a conflict, but we don't want to lose our job. We want to protect our families. We want to protect ourselves. It's about shelter, food, shelter. So risk aversion to me sometimes is, I mean, there's probably a small part where it's like, well, I don't want to be wrong and humiliated, but there's a big part where it's like, there are organizations where if you speak up against your boss, you're fired. I mean, think about when we go to school. When I go to, I grow up and I mentioned my 4 kids, they say why all the time. It drives me crazy. I don't yell at them. I just kind of answer it. But then you go to school and your teacher says something and you raise your hand and say why. Usually what happens is they say, Kevin, you're talking back to me. Go to the principal. And then you go to your first job and the boss says something and you're like, well, hello, politely, sorry, I have a different perspective. And they're like, you just embarrassed me in front of all my peers. You're fired. So risk aversion comes because we're trying to save our jobs, not because we don't want to have the conflict. And it just goes back to the emotional states of how the brain works again.